My main thrust of my work has been around community engagement. Get Set, which was the Olympics education initiative, was to try and get every school involved signed up for the Games, and that would give them access to training aids for the schools. And if they signed up to the next level of the network, there's actually schools that have been chosen to provide torchbearers, school visits down to the Olympic Park, and every school that was signed up was guaranteed tickets, a share of tickets to disperse amongst its pupils as it saw fit. So there's been a lot of engagement around that. There's 275 schools signed up in Manchester itself around Get Set, and 110 for the network. So the likelihood is that there'll be a large amount of the schools will be out celebrating the torch as it comes through. And I understand there's one school, actually, the whole school is sleeping overnight, so it can be out at 7 o'clock in the morning for the torch starting on the day. That's the sort of level of impact the torch is going to have in the area. So it will, as the video that was shown earlier, I think that's how it's going to resemble when the torch comes through. Inspire, which was the community-based project initiative, this was for non-funded groups, dance, culture, etc. There's a large amount of them in the northwest, and they've been asked through the councils to help illuminate the route. So if there's a square or an open area, then they've been approached to offer some sort of entertainment to provide ahead of the torch coming through, as the torch is coming through, and past the torch coming through. So if businesses are close by something like that, then there's a good chance that those areas will be getting utilised as well. The London 2012 Dance Festival, the Cultural Olympiad, and local leaders. I don't know if anyone's aware of local leaders. LOCOG have now created local leaders, which is trying to get the people within local communities to host and arrange some event to do with the Olympics. Whether that be from a small barbecue in someone's back garden to a massive street party. From a police point of view, it's very important that we have a handle on all the other parallel events that are going on around the torch relay. But we also need that information coming in, so if people are aware of events going on, then that needs to be fed in, please, to the local police. And it was touched on earlier, the live site on the exchange from the 1st of May to the 9th of September, which is guaranteed to draw people in, especially as Euro 2012 is going on a lot of the times. The torch tours around the country, which will increase footfall within the city centres again. Last bit for myself. I was also asked to look at intelligence requirement from the police. We need to gather information in to make sure that the policing response and from partners reflects the threats and risks and how policing do that. Everyone's responsibility to provide information to help us to do that. We can't do that without community engagement. We can't do that without engaging with partners. The threats and risks were discussed earlier by Mr. Lawton, but we still need that information coming in from people around crime, disorder, protest, fixated people, attention seekers, and terrorism. Can I just emphasise, you and whoever you work with are the eyes and ears of us on the ground, and it's very important that that information flow continues. If there's anything you go away from today, from this, from myself, is please reinforce that to staff, that any information should be fed through as quickly as possible. Business continuity plans, just as I touched on about access, staff going to and from premises, etc. Those would need updated if people are considering them. And lastly, the good Olympic intelligence will allow Manchester to be showcased as it should be, as a great city, along with all the other ones around the country. Good from my point of view is I don't cover the southwest and Wales because they're the guinea pigs for the first part of the torch, so everywhere else can learn what's going on, what's good and what's bad from there, so there's a lot of benefits. The torch video that was played earlier, Mr. Lawton beat me to it. I was going to play that at the end, but I think it was probably best that you saw that before I came up. That is how we envisage the torch will go around the country. You know, the level of everyone's response and awareness now is very high. You can't turn on the television without every single advert being a sponsor, something to do with it. Okay, so On Monday we find out who the people are that are coming, who the last qualifier will be, and on the 24th, Tuesday, we find out who the teams will be playing in Manchester. As been touched on, that might throw up some issues, but today the majority of teams that have qualified shouldn't throw up any issues around Manchester itself. Basically, I'd just like to finish off with, if you have any issues or questions, I'll answer them today, but london2012.com, very good searchable website. We could probably answer any questions you have around, especially business and security. I have cards which I'll leave at the end, and a copy of this presentation will be circulated if required to people. I do apologise for the very short email address that my force gave me, but it's just runs off the tongue, doesn't it? But thank you very much for your time today, and please, we need all the information coming in to make sure that the London 2012 in Manchester is good and as best as it should be. So thank you very much.